There's a lot of things that you could learn from real life fighting and combat sports that, strangely enough, could be applied to fighting games because it's kind of really funny how they all apply on a sort of mental level. Maybe not at the physical level, obviously, but definitely on a mental level, there are certain things and practices that can be brought over. Now, today's discussion is really inspired by a video I saw recently called Why Sparring is Dead. And within that video, I think there are a lot of practical points that I took away that I now want to implement into my journey or young career in Street Fighter 6. First of all, I want to really talk about the socialization aspect of all of this. This cannot work without that aspect. And by that aspect, I'm referring to possibly like Discord chats or other forms of communication where players can connect with each other and set up these sparring sessions. Now, it's funny because the name of the video is Why Sparring is Dead, right? However, the video doesn't essentially say that sparring is completely gone or is it completely absent from the practice of many professional combat sport participants. But it's a case where it starts off by saying don't deny sparring. Sparring isn't bad. It's just that the way or the approach that was previously taken by people who constantly sparred has changed. So sparring is important because you can't really train forever. You can't sit down in that training room and practice your combo 50 million times, although it would be good because now you shouldn't be able to drop it. Or you can't just sit down and practice hit confirming on a very stable person. You possibly have to be out here trying to hit confirm on an opponent that would be moving. But the whole point of this type of practice or this type of sparring is to reduce our levels of stress and create an environment in which we can learn. Now, game modes in fighting games are quite very straightforward. You've got casual matches where, truth be told, there's no risk to losing, and you've got ranked matches where, truth be told, there is no real risk to losing, but you do risk points, you do risk a rank up, you do risk getting out of a certain level of fame or glory that you can claim to yourself due to the fact that you're no longer just a simple bronze rank, right? But it essentially forces us to think about the way we go about learning the game. First things first, you should be playing this game first of all and having fun from playing it, because why would you be playing if you're not really having fun? So the video speaks about how we can use sparring to reduce stress and increase our enjoyment. So it speaks about neuroplasticity. And by playing more of the game, or by hopping on a Discord, arranging a lobby, creating a custom room, and just getting in there and just getting some matches in, you have the opportunity to reduce your stress hormone or cortisol and increase dopamine, which would then allow you to learn. Now, what is interesting is that these references are made, or this type of research was conducted due to the animal kingdom. So we look at the fact that a puppy may chase a ball, right? They've got to get this ball. And we're just seeing them play, or puppies fight with each other. They do these play fightings, or, bears might wrestle with each other. But subconsciously, what we don't realize is that they're actually teaching themselves to get comfortable and learn how to enact or act within these situations if they ever occur. So a puppy chasing down a ball is simply learning how to hunt. Bears wrestling with each other are learning how to fight each other, and on top of that, fend off prey, whoever wants to, fight with a bear. But what neuroplasticity does in this instance, not only does it allow us to enjoy the game, which allows us to learn more, it improves our memory. So we kind of get accustomed to maybe what hit confirming would be. Maybe we get more accustomed to what situations arrive for us that allows us to do this full combo, or what allows us to become better at the game because we're finally having fun. Now, the video had this graph that related it to fear, stress, and boredom. So we could actually see that your improvement really gets inhibited by boredom, because if you're not really into an activity, if you're playing a fighting game that you don't enjoy, it's boring to you, then I suggest you hop off. Or any activity in life, if you're not enjoying it or having that level of fun, Learning becomes a real obstacle when truthfully it should never be that much of an obstacle. So we see that fear and stress impact that the most because you're essentially creating an environment where you can't learn and you don't have the ability to improve. And that's what rank does. Rank really puts you in a stress inducing, anxiety inducing, rage inducing, tilt encouraging environment where you start to blame a set of elements and aspects around the game, except for reflecting on what you are doing as a player, what it is that you're adjusting for, what it is that you're learning in this moment, and what it is that you're doing wrong or right. But within a sparring session, within a Discord, you just hop on and you don't really have that problem. I just really had a very fruitful moment a couple of days ago when I was in a Discord chat, and essentially I was playing with a player who is much more skilled than me, much more higher ranked. And I was like, yo, feel free to, tell me what I'm doing wrong or right. I'm here for feedback. This is the whole point that I'm here. I heard this from my boy Proxy on Backbreaking Combos, that I'm here to get washed in order to get clean. You check. So when he when he learned that about me, he was like, all right, we've played a few sets. He was like, yo, hop on a Discord call. Now, yo, I'm very new to Discord, and even like the friend social features in Street Fighter, I didn't even know to add people or accept requests. It was like almost as if this was a part of the game that I never knew existed. But we hopped on this call, and he was essentially telling me stuff that I need to work on, being random DIs, practically getting better at anti-airing, but at least my neutral is decent enough. And we had that discussion, but then it evolved into something more. We started talking about different interests, where we live, different aspects around the game, why we like Street Fighter, why maybe we don't like it other games in comparison, what other games we play. So we had all of these aspects going on, and it was such a good time. I don't think I've had that sort of socialization on other fighting games, and it really made me think about it, that sometimes we talk about the FGC, but we neglect the C part of it, and then we just hammer in and focus on the basic negative parts of the fighting game community when there is much more positive interactions to be had. And it really made me think about it, because the video said that you don't really want to take sparring as fighting, but as serious play. So you're not going in there to just be like, oh, I don't even care about this game, I don't even really want to play, yada yada yada. And it's like, dude, just take it a bit seriously in terms of having fun. So be serious about having fun. Don't just spar because you want to win a match. Don't just hop on and just get frustrated because this dude is beating me, this dude is always winning, he's a diamond player, I'm just a bronze, I can't learn anything from this interaction, or skill is too different, it's too much. And it's like, that's not true. You could learn, because guess what? Losing is learning. You could turn losing into learning. And a matter of fact, if this is a person who you've had that, initial rapport with, and just saying, look, I kind of want to get better at the game, how did you get there? Then they themselves could sit down and be like, yo, here's how I could help you. It's not just a case of me molly-whopping you all the way from Sunday to Sunday. I'm essentially trying to get you better at this game, because I'm looking at your habits, I'm seeing where you can improve, but I'm also giving it my all. And hey, that was a good play there. You see how you jumped in and you empty jumped and you threw me? I was not expecting that, because you changed up your play style. In fact, I found myself being a bit more comfortable with drive rushing while I was sparring with these guys on the Discord. I never really did that on ranked. It's a case where I was like, I gotta play careful, I gotta play tight because I want to win. Whereas in that custom room, I felt comfortable to do things that I've never done before, or try new strategies. And there's a quote from Einstein that essentially, I'm paraphrasing it, that's saying playing is the best form of research. You could learn things from these matches that you could then make your training sessions. We spoke about that a bit earlier, that you just go in there and you could practice forever, and then when you get into a real match, you can't apply it. But if you spar and you have the time to observe yourself, or you watch those replays, you can go into the training room and make it objectively better, because now you have goals in mind of what it is that you want to accomplish. And then the video spoke about the infinite game, trying to hunt after the infinite game instead of the finite game. So, within the professional combat sports, you're possibly limited to 12 rounds, 10 rounds, 5 rounds. There's a finite game in that. It really speaks to the fact that a finite game is out here to choose a winner. That is the objective of it. That's the same with ranked. Really and truly, you're possibly going to have to interact with this person for about just 3 matches. It could even be shorter if you win in 2 or they win in 2, but it could be a case where you win 1, they win 1, and then they come back and win again, and then you're done with this person. And then you go back in the lobby, you feel frustrated, you feel stupid because you made mistakes, you didn't win, you're losing points, you hate the game, and then on top of that, you have to wait for the queue to give you a next opponent. So there's this downtime that you could kind of sit with your frustration. Never rage queue. I'm learning that when you're tilted, bro, get off. You could get off the game for a bit and just take a step back, do something else, and probably come back and don't even go on ranked, but possibly load up a sparring session. I'm really trying to hammer in here, guys. Get social with the fighting games that you play. Make friends, have friends play the fighting games that you play. I'm interested in playing with any of you guys below. Now that I've kind of become a bit more accustomed with Discord and everything like that, I'm willing to have some sets with you guys. I don't care what rank you are. Let's get on and play the infinite game. It doesn't matter. We don't have to win. There's no winning here unless you're not learning. Because if you're not learning, then I feel like you're really not winning. We don't take that damage that kind of changed from sparring. Sparring had to change in a way because you don't want a fighter sparring and then all of a sudden they've developed a concussion. They got a concussion from sparring, or they got injured. I know it's like you actually have a big fight where there's a lot of stakes involved and people went too hard on sparring, and then essentially you don't gain anything from that. Because even in casual matches, you could find somebody who is like, you're thinking you're having a good set with them, and then all of a sudden they start taunting you, they start teabagging you, and it's like, bro, like, why are you doing this? We're just in casual, it's not that serious, and like, you're just ruining my experience because you're just making me even more frustrated. So you gotta get away from that and get into the socialization aspects of it. Like I said, we don't take that physical damage, but we do take emotional damage when we see our MR go down. Like, it really frustrates us, and then we take damage to our ego, and that's something that really and truly could just ruin your whole gaming experience. But there were 5 things that I took away from the video, or really and truly 5 things that they listed down at the end of the video that was really important to take away. So number 1, a point that I've already been discussing: losing may not be bad. In fact, losing could be winning if you're learning. You're gonna make your training sessions get better if you get out there, lose, realize where your weak points are, and get into the lab and improve on that. Number 2, it's sometimes essentially letting yourself lose, or breaking out of habits. You could really hammer out your habits in these sessions, especially if somebody is telling you, yo, you do that a lot, stop, that is costing you the match. For me, it's the random DIs, it's me not really cashing out when I get the opportunities to follow through with combos. I've got to do a bit more in those aspects, and definitely my game can improve. Number 3 is about having great rounds with different skilled people, whether it's you're in diamond playing a bronze player, whether you're in silver playing platinum and master players. Have great rounds with these guys, because you can virtually improve in that aspect due to the fact that while it may be a case where you might not get a round off of them, it could be a case where you start to just get comfortable doing something more, because you're not focused on winning here. You're focused on, hey, if I drive rush and I grab, is he ready for that? Because I notice every time I drive rush at him, he gets into a parry because he's expecting me to be aggressive. Maybe drive rushing and grabbing is a good strategy. And then you just start to implement these things into your habits or into your play style, because that means you're trying out new techs, which is the next point. So you try new techniques. You don't want to win, because you know that sometimes you could hop on ranked and just spam DI and somehow win, or keep jumping and somebody doesn't adapt to you in time and you win, right? And you level up, you move up. But In this session, you could try out new things that you haven't done before. And this point was actually the fourth point, and I move it to the last point, but it should really be the first point, and that is to begin your sessions or your playtime with sparring. Probably hop on casual if you can, or if you're in a Discord, say, guys, I want to warm up, I want to run a few sets. Who's up for maybe like 20 matches? And you get that warm up, and you're approaching ranked with a less stress on your mind, you know. But for me, that's how I've been using what these real life fighting professionals have been applying in terms of their game plan, in terms of their practice, and using that into fighting games. So really and truly, that's all I want to talk to you guys today about. I'm interested in hearing down in the comment section, what kind of strategies have you been implementing into your overall playing any fighting game that you do, in terms of getting better, in terms of possibly increasing just having fun on this game? Have you been utilizing the social features? Have you yourself become more social on this game? Are you using Discord? I'd love to know if you guys are using Discord. We could add each other up. Let's play some matches. Let's play some sets against each other. But I will see you guys in the next video. But until then, have fun and stay gaming.